to see how this goes. Because this could go either way. And whichever way it goes, therefore, I do not know. Alright, let me see what happens. 6 p.m., see who we get in here. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. As we allow the people to join, tonight's show is titled, Why You Should Judge a Book by Its Cover. But before we get into that, while we sitting here in the waiting room, man, oh man, oh man, it's tough. Playing a single father is tough. And not that I am a single father, of course I'm not. But, when I decided to allow my wife from Ghana to come here to the U.S. with me, and everything was everything. Said she wanted to work for the summertime, go work at a family restaurant. I said, hey, no problem. I'll stay home and take care of the kid. When she turns 6 months, we'll do that. But we waited until 7 months. So from June to now, for the next 2 weeks, I've had my daughter from the beginning of the night to the end of the night, basically. I work 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, outside of the home. So I always take my daughter with me everywhere I go. When I'm at work, she's with me. When I'm at home, she's with me. When I'm traveling, when I'm shopping, she's with me. And the reason I say this is because, and I'm a man, and of course by nature, and me being the type of man that I am, people will consider me to be more resilient than, the average female or females in general. And I'm saying to myself, it's not an easy thing, because for all the time that I spend taking care of a baby, I have no time for myself to gym. I have no time for myself to dedicate to my work online, to deal with clients, to better my product, better my services. I don't have time to do any of that. And the majority of my time, aside for an hour or two out the day, is dedicated to her. And by the time I do get her to sleep, I need a dose of rest. So the reason why I say this is because I think it's important that even us men know and start to understand that being a single mother is a very difficult thing. And it's good that the females hear this too. Because, well, all the shows that I watch, like the Fatal Attractions and the crime networks and all this, how these single mothers be dealing with these types of dudes and end up in murder, or them being murdered, all types of mess. And I always ask myself, why do these people put themselves in this position? Now I'm realizing something. Being a single parent could bring a person to desperation, especially when there's a female. It's very exhausting. And I'm just doing this for 2.5 months total. So imagine someone who has to do it for, albeit 18 years of it. So albeit, that didn't make sense. But someone who has to do this for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 18 years. And I'm like, it is not good for children in the first place to grow up in single parent homes, but it is not good for the psyche and the mental and the emotional, psychological aspect of it from a parent standpoint. Because it bears too much responsibility just on one person. And now I see why the kids that we see in the streets every day, and we be like, they act like they have no parenting, because they're all coming from these single parent homes. And I'm realizing that the reason that these kids are not being parented, because it's too exhausting for one particular person to do it. That's why a lot of the single mothers allow the streets to raise their children, allows television, the the school, the media, all that, everything but them. It's very exhausting, especially when you're a single parent. You got to go out there and work in order just to provide and put food on the table, keep a roof over the head. I mean, that alone is enough for one individual where they just don't have the time. Psychologically and mentally, you just don't have that energy to raise a child in a homegrown, traditional, decent manner. And this is just proving my point that, well, we know that we weren't made to be raised by single parents, but it just goes to show that how important it is to do things the right way, the traditional way. Because we got these kids out here, the news is covered with murders after murders after murders. Here in Philadelphia, man, I think we have like 200 and something murders in the city already. And we average 3 to 4 murders every weekend. And it's crazy. But one thing they all have in common, they all come from single parent homes. These kids who's shooting, robbing, we got a lot of carjacking. Now, all of a sudden, carjacking is just out of control in the city. Every time you turn around, someone's getting carjacked or shot half the time for trying to steal a car. The one thing they all have in common, they come from single parent homes. It's insane. And now, we really got to take a look at the dangers. Not that we only put ourselves in, but the dangers that we do to our children when we go out here and the ladies make themselves baby mamas, or the parents or the dads or the fathers lead these girls to be single mothers. It's very devastating. And now I can see why these kids are not raised at all. And they're out here acting like animals. Because they come from homes with women or females who did not raise them. It's not that they didn't raise them right, they didn't raise them at all. Half the time the females are having babies now at 10 and 11 years old here in the U.S. So you got these kids running around pushing strollers 10, 11, 12 years old with their first baby. And by the time their baby is in their 20s, they're only 30. So all they know is to be best friends. They don't know anything about raising nobody. They can't even raise themselves. It's just a cycle that is proven to be very destructive. It's a terrible cycle, man. Like I said, I've only been doing it for a month and a half. You know, aside from Sunday having to myself, and that's not all to myself anyway, because that's family time. But just a month and a half, close to 2 months of doing it myself, man. It is, oh man. I would never want to imagine myself having to do this by myself for the foreseeable future till my child turns 18 or of age to either marry off or go and take care of themselves. But it's something that we really need to start thinking about. And it's like, I remember when I was younger, I was young, but going from every decade we become new people. Who you are from 1 to 10 years old is not who you are from 11 to 20, from 21 to 30, from 31 to 40. So we're supposed to progressively change every decade. But I remember from my 20s, anything that looked good I would sleep with. And that'd be satisfactory to me because it was all about satisfying myself. When I got to my 30s, it went from anybody to, let me be a little bit more meticulous in the type of people that I choose to lay down with. And by the time I hit 40, now, it's like couldn't lay with anyone who I didn't really care for, no matter how good they look. And I see girls who look good all the time. And that desire and drive is just not in me to push further to do anything like that. And it shows that there's a maturity there. But it also shows that when you're younger and you lack that maturity, you make a lot of bad decisions. And when you don't have proper guidance from parenthood, it breeds a lot more destruction. Being misguided or not guided at all, it ends in disaster almost every single time. And likely the best outcome, if you just left alone on the streets to be a bum, wander around, become an alcoholic or whatever it is. Because the other half of that is you end up in prison or in a grave. And this is where a lot of our children are headed. To be on the streets living in poverty for the rest of their lives. Prison or a grave. And it's because we as parents are putting our children in these positions. Some of us who are parents shouldn't even be parents. And that's the problem. That's what I'm going to say. A lot of people who are becoming parents are the problem because they should never be parents. At least not at the age and the stage of their life. If you ain't married, and you ain't been married for a few years, you shouldn't be having kids. No way, no how. But, alright, let's see what we got. Alright, I guess we can get into tonight's episode. Alright, tonight we're talking about why should you judge a book by its cover? We know that there's a saying, don't judge a book by its cover. But you know what? I always wanted to know where that came from. Let me ask Google. Where did the term don't judge a book by its cover come from? Oh, got the voice turned off. Let me type it in. Don't judge a book by its cover. So I know y'all all heard this. The English don't judge a book by its cover is a metaphorical phrase that means one should not judge the worth or value of something by its outward appearance alone. For example, the man may look very small and insignificant, but don't judge a book by its cover. He is a very powerful man in his circle. Okay, so it's an English metaphor. This is Wikipedia. Now, why should we judge a book by its cover versus why shouldn't we? This is what's on my mind today. I just got home probably about 20 minutes ago. So I'm headed to the market. She's running out of breast milk, so I'm like, damn, I gotta go get some carnation milk and mix it in with the breast milk, so and two moms could pump some more and bring it home. So as I'm driving, sitting at a standstill, a SUV comes pulling up the opposite way. Window down, music blasting, hood music. I don't even know who it is. Someone I wouldn't know. Gucci hat, bucket hat on. Gucci glasses, big square glasses the person is wearing. And rings on their finger. The problem is this. It was a lady. And she had to be at least 65 years old. I'm not lying. She was, at the very minimum, she was 65. Maybe closer to 70. And if you saw this, what would you say? Would you say, oh, this is such a nice, quiet, traditional grandma that love her grandkids and bake cookies on the weekends? No, you say this person might be out of their mind because they never grew the hell up. You're a 65, 70-year-old female driving around trying to act like you're 20 or a teenager. That's not normal. And knowing that is not normal, because that is not the way of progression. Nowadays, the older ones are acting more younger than the younger ones. Nowadays, you got the older ones. You get the guys on the street, drink a beer all day, don't look like they got a place to go half the time, hat turned back or to the side, pants sagging, and these dudes is like in their 50s and 60s. And they still talk like they're teenagers. So, do we look at a 50-year-old guy wearing his pants hanging out, talking slang like he's a teenager? Do we say, oh, well, don't judge him by his cover because he's 50 years old, so he deserves that respect. No, you say this 50-year-old man dresses like a clown because at 50 years old, he should dress in a casual manner, not like a 15-year-old boy with his pants sagging down. So it would benefit you to judge that book by its cover. But the reason why I say this is because there was a lady online from this YouTube thing, and it's a podcast, I don't know what it's called, but going on and on about just because I dress this way don't mean that I'm easy, don't mean that I'm this, don't mean that I'm that. Y'all need to respect me. Now we live in a world that's a physical world. There's a spiritual realm, but we deal with the fleshly things here on earth. And we know that we're a people who are visible. Love. Can't even say that word right. Anyway, everything that's visible to us is taken in through the eye and deciphered through the mind and the heart. So, I'm trying to wait till it's time for me to go get her. So, if you dress a certain way, and you know that it's associated with a certain lifestyle, but you do it anyway, why do you complain against society when you understand the society that you're in? Society is not going to change because you're determined to bend the rules. Just won't. It's like the comedian said, there's a guy dressed like a cop on the corner. He's not a police officer, but he just determined one day he want to go out, hey, let me dress like a police officer. Oh my goodness, give me 1 second. This girl is going to drive me crazy. Just don't give up, do it. Once you sleep, you won't sleep, will you? You will never sleep. All right. Anyway, as I was saying, so it's the same as me getting up in the morning saying, you know what, I think I'm going to dress like a police officer. That's how I feel today. And then I'm standing out in the open and somebody runs up to me, officer, I need help. Officer, I need help. And I get mad at them. I say, why are you bothering me? I'm not a police officer. Now, whose fault is it that I was mistaken for a police officer? Was it me or was it the person seeking a police officer? Because in order to identify a police officer, we look at the uniform. So when we see a particular uniform, we think officer. When we see people in military gear, camouflage, we think military. When we see people in a suit and tie, briefcase, we think businessman. When we see females in skirts that barely cover their crotch, we think prostitute. This is the reality of life. You can't bend reality. Now, why would I dress up as a police officer, knowing that I wasn't one, but people would think that I was? Something deep down in me either wants to be a police officer or want others to believe that I'm a police officer for whatever purpose. So if one is dressing in a trashy manner and you associate that particular dress, that particular style with fast women, because there's a difference between how prostitutes dress and fast women dress. Yes, there is. There it's 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 a thin border, but there is a difference between prostitutes and fast women. So if I see a particular girl dress, that's like, okay, she's fast. She's easy. That's what we say, she's easy. And a man approach you in that manner and you get upset. Why? Because if a man sees a girl in a tight mini with a halter top or whatever you want to call it, versus if she's standing next to another young lady with a dress down to her ankles, a floral dress that goes all the way down, covers up everything, hairstyle normal, he's not going to approach them both the same way. It'd be impossible because there'd be no reason to. But again, this is why it is proper for us to judge a book by its cover. It tells us what we're getting into. Good evening. Why are you smiling so hard? Huh?
I was listening.
All right, who's calling?
It's Valarie.
Valarie. Valarie, I know you, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what show you was on. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What show was that?
I think something has to do with women, modern women, something like that. I don't remember.
I gotta pull that out one day. All right, Valarie, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. So what we talking about tonight?
Why to judge a book by its cover?
So I'm saying that we should judge a book by its cover. What do you say?
Oh, I agree with that.
Huh?
I agree with that.
All right. Why do you agree with it?
Well, I love reading, and most of the novels I read, I have to actually read the cover first. I look at the title on the cover and then to the back and read and at least get an idea what the book is about going to say. So,
Your network.
oh,
You there?
very.
Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, you just came back. You went away. All right. So only thing we heard was that you like to read novels and you got to read the cover.
Yep, to get an idea of what the book is going to be about.
So how does that correlate to the world in which we live in when we're coming in contact with other people?
How they look is like their cover. You get me?
So what's the first thing you look at?
Their clothes, their dressing, not just clothes from the head to the toes.
What's the most important thing about a man when you see him?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
What's the most important thing about a man when you first come in contact with him?
His hair.
His hair.
Yeah.
Most men don't have hair these days.
They do like hair,
Oh, okay.
hair, and then
You mean grooming. So you mean grooming to see whether they're clean or...
yeah.
All right. So
Or
man is
shabby.
all scruffy, everything all over the place. Then what? Oh,
Hair,
because I get like that
hair.
sometimes. I like it like that. I like that old mountain man. No, seriously. If it was up to me, I probably would never hardly shave. I would just have my scruffy beard all over the place because, I don't know, I'm comfortable like that.
It looks weird. Yeah, you might be comfortable, but to me, it looks weird. You just look weird. Like,
But
stay away.
that's the natural way that a man is. That's the natural way that a man is made.
Yeah, but at least you should clean up.
I see. But I get it. But I'm just saying, as a man, most men feel more comfortable when they could just grow this stuff out and just let it be. You see what I'm saying?
It's okay if in your house.
Yeah, but we only groom ourselves because of y'all. If not for y'all, we would not groom ourselves. Believe that. So, aside from the hair, what next after the hair?
Yeah, your clothes. Are you sagging your trousers? Because that's a no.
Good point.
Definitely no.
Why is that a no? When you see the sagging of trousers, what does that tell you about the person?
Well, I don't know about over there, but over here, most guys that sag their trousers, they're not straightforward in life. They're cooked.
Okay.
They're doing illegal shits. So,
They're criminals.
not yeah. So, criminals have not been caught yet. So,
Well,
not interested.
you can't never say all because you get some people that are just misguided in all fashions. But
Yeah.
but you as a
I
particular
won't.
I get what you're saying. You as an individual, that's what that's telling. So we as the brothers have to know. Well, if I'm going to dress this way, this is how I'm going to be perceived. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like over here, it's the same way. That's why I mentioned in the beginning. If you walk around with your pants sagging, you got dudes that 40, 50, 60 years old walking around here on the streets with their pants sagging. And you know what? They can look at the same way. Life has passed them by, and they have not matured enough to make anything of themselves. And the young ones could do it. It's the same way. You're not mature. You're not properly raised, and you're not that intelligent. So you're likely going to be out here doing something illegal just to provide and eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So it's the same way here. And what's next after that? You got the grooming, the hair, and then what?
Then the way you talk. Do you use a lot of slangs in your talking? Or like you straightforward?
Or they just talk goofy like you?
You know, like here, like every state kind of has their own slangs. Lagos has their own slangs. Delta has their own slangs. Port Harcourt has their own slangs. Abuja has their own slangs. So, do you use a lot of slangs when you're talking?
Like
No.
here in Philly. Like the thing that I don't get, it's one thing when the men or the boys talk it, but now you hear the girls doing it now.
Yeah.
So that's going on there. That is beyond me. Because the girls sound just like men. They sound just like boys now. And it's not just here in the U.S. It's there too in West Africa. I hear girls talking like I used to talk when I was like 15, 16. You're like, yeah, nigga. No. What you talking about? This nigga, yeah, I'm saying, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That nigga on the sideline. That nigga playing the sideline. Tell that nigga to get back. Tell that nigga to get back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to handle that. I'm like, yo, girl talking though. My goodness. And when I started the show, I said that on my way back home, because I had to run to the market, I seen a lady in an SUV with a bucket Gucci hat, big ass Gucci glasses, rings on her finger, and an SUV pumping rap music. But she was like 65 to 70 years old. Dig me? I don't know what it is that's happening today. That nobody wants to grow up and be an adult. Nobody wants to be an adult anymore. It's like, it's not attractive anymore. It's not attractive to be a mature man or a mature woman anymore. So you even see the celebrities that are trying to copy the younger ones. Acting like them, talking like them, dressing like them, posting like them. Even the celebrity world are influenced by the younger ones. That's why the world is so backwards. The old is supposed to influence the younger, but the world is so backwards now that everything is wrong. Up is down and down is up. So
top to bottom.
Yeah, and it was said that it's going to be this way, that evil will be good and good will be evil. So that's the world in which we live in. And it's it's sad that I see it this way because there are some people with potential, but they would never see it because of the direction that they follow. And all right, so what I'm getting to with this also, if what you said with the hair, the clothing, and the speech, now let's turn it around. Because nowadays, when I first see a girl, the first thing I notice is the hair, as you said. So if I see the hair all pink, your wig all blue, or all yellow, or rainbow color, immediately, nah, be, cut that.
But my natural hair is gold.
Hmm?
My natural hair is dyed gold. So it still doesn't mean all of us. It's just like some, it can classify all.
That's why we're talking about perception. We're talking about perception. Now, you dyed your natural hair gold. And knowing you, but not knowing you, if I first see that and I'm looking for a girlfriend or a wife, I'm like, oh, hell no. This girl ain't got her marbles together. She got a few loose ones up there. As a mature man who's looking to,
Yeah.
as a builder, I'm looking at stuff like that. Now, me in my 20s, I'm like, I'll take you all day. No problem. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. In my 20s, I would take almost anything that looked good, no matter. But now, when you fast forward a decade or so, men start to think differently. And that's why you don't see a lot of men chasing after a lot of our women anymore. And a lot of the ladies are not seeing that. They're looking around like, why aren't our men choosing us? Why, when our men get money, they go and look for others outside of who we are? And a lot of times the ladies are not seen because they're being raised in this manner. And by the time they become adults, they have their own way. They can't see what men see, or they don't want to. But like I'm saying, the first thing I notice about a female is her hair, honestly. And if she wearing weaves, if she got a weave that's from the top of her head that's down to her knees, I'm like, I mean, she's pretty close to being mad and on the streets. You know what I mean? You got to have a little
You
madness.
have an issue with long braids. You have an issue
If,
with long
if
braids.
not long braids, but if somebody's wearing a weave that's stretching down to their knees, you know that person got mental problems, do you not? No, seriously. There's usually mental problems behind that, is it not?
I don't know. I don't
You
know. I have no comments on that. No comments on
look,
that.
you know. All right, and braids. I love braids. Don't braids, dress and braids are two of my favorite things with women. I've always loved braids since I was a young man. I'm never going to stop loving them. And even when you talk about braids, if your braids is down to your ankles, because we're seeing that now. We're seeing that.
Yeah.
That they took the braids from being down their back, the middle of their back, or to their waist, which was beautiful. We look at it, we like, we're in awe. Oh, damn, that looks sexy. About to tear that thing up. About to wrap around, pull from behind. You know what I mean? Go to work. But now we're looking at it like y'all wearing them down past your knee pads to your ankles, to the bottom of your feet. And we're like, what the hell is this? Like,
It's fashion.
oh,
It's fashion.
like the brothers is like, this is madness. And y'all like, madness. This is fashion. It's like the movie 300. Yo, it's out of control now. But that's what I see. And I even did I did one of these things that was based on women's hair and how men judge y'all by that. And like your hair, looking at your hair, you're a young girl. I can tell you young, just by the way you're wearing your hair. You got what is it? What is it, a wig?
I had a scarf.
Yeah, the wig and the
Yeah, a
scarf.
wig and a scarf. Yeah.
Since you're in the house, I'm not going to say nothing. But if you was walking around, I would think that you're lazy with yourself.
Yeah, I'm at home, so.
Yeah, but it's like the bonnet wearers. Those who go out wearing bonnets everywhere. Some of them try to go to restaurants with bonnets and get turned away and wonder why. Nah, it was on YouTube. Girl got turned away from I think it was called a place in Atlanta called Turkey Legs or whatever, or Texas, something like that. Wearing a bonnet and got turned away and had the nerve to get mad and go post it all over social media. And it's like ladies today don't have no decorum. Y'all just go out the house looking like anything. I'm not talking about you, but I'm just saying in general. That's what y'all doing these days. And then when you get picked by raggedy guys who ain't got nothing going on for them, you wonder why. You're like, why the guys with money that got it going on ain't picking me? Look at what you walking out the house looking like. Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. So secondly, after the hair, I look at the clothing. The clothing tells everything. I'm going to take what I said back. I'm going to say I look at the hair second on a woman, on a lady. Because y'all men got to groom themselves. They got to do a lot of different things. Women, y'all don't have facial hairs on. Some of y'all do, but, I'm not saying nothing. But I used to be in love with a girl with a mustache in junior high school. She ain't like me. She was a light-skinned girl. She had a thick-ass mustache, though. But I just found her to be, she was pretty. She was pretty as hell. But she ain't like me regardless, so. Hey, quiet. All right. You see how she get with you tired? All right. But the clothing is the most important thing to me on a female. How do you dress when you go out? If you
It
going out to an
depends if
event,
I'm being lazy.
no, if you were going out to an event, you're like, you know what, I might find my husband here. I might find my husband here.
A gown.
Huh? How you dress her?
I'll pick a gown,
A gown.
a long gown with slits. Yeah, with slits.
All right.
Don't have slits.
Are there any body parts showing on that gown?
Just my legs.
All right, just your legs. No breasts hanging out.
Yeah.
I think that's tacky too. I really do think that's tacky. That a lot of ladies gotta have their breasts pumped out,
Oh,
their
there's
dress,
my
just to
network.
get attention from a man. Oh, okay, there you go. No,
Yeah.
you only want to wait for a second.
Oh,
So,
network is bad.
so if a man perceive a woman wearing tights, a tight skirt. No, let's do this. What y'all ladies do all the time, the leggings. Let me get into that, the leggings. The tight ass leggings that a lot of y'all shouldn't be wearing anyway in the first place. Because a lot of people just ain't got the body for it. But they wear it anyway. How do you think men perceive that when they see women who wear leggings all day, every day?
I don't know.
Take a guess.
It's comfortable.
Take a guess. It ain't
We're
comfortable for
tall.
y'all. Ooh, stop it. Take a guess.
Fast. Easy.
Pretty much.
Classy.
Pretty much.
Chic.
We think about sex. But you know why a man should think like that? Because as a woman, when you dress that way, you're purposely desired to draw attention to your body shape, among all things. So you're dressed in that manner to have attention go directly to that. So that's where the attention goes to. So when the attention goes directly to that, all men want you for is in the bedroom. They don't think you're worth anything more beyond that. That's why they do what they call pump and dump. That's why a lot of men, they do everything they can to have sex with these girls. And after they have sex 1, 2, 3, whatever times, they ghost them. And they do everything to block you on social media, block your number. But they don't want you no more. Because you already told them what your value was. And once they take that value and explore it, it's just on to the next one. You got the echo going on in there.
It's my fan.
Your fan.
Kind of cold, but kind of hot.
All right. Yeah, I guess it was. But it's hot. Is it hot there?
Turn it off. It's kind of cold, but it's kind of hot. In
So it's kind of
between.
Valarie, basically. Valarie don't know where's the sheep coming and going. You want your bottle again? About to get a bottle. All right. So as I said, that's what that's about. Even with the leggings, and I'm not saying if you at the gym and you gymming it up, or you running and you wearing leggings, albeit, but if that's the way you want to go out and dress because you know what type of attention it's going to garner. Don't get mad when you get just what you asked for. You can't get no high class man who's looking for a wife that is going to take that seriously. Come on, man. No, seriously. It's time that the ladies start thinking how the men think and using it to their advantage, but it's like they use it to their disadvantage. And I don't get it. And after that, I don't think guys really look at shoes, to be honest. I never really cared about a woman's shoe. Just never.
Women look at shoes.
Yeah, but men, we don't care. Have you?
How about her makeup?
I personally hate makeup.
Okay.
Heavy makeup is a big no-no. A lot of y'all, we need to do a whole show on the makeup thing though, because a lot of y'all are I don't know what the hell to call it, but
Makeup artist, moi.
yeah, but y'all changing people's whole identities. Half of y'all unrecognizable. So you get a man.
Is the artist?
Yeah, you get a man who think you pretty. He dealing with you over a couple dates. Now he like, damn, I got this fine woman. She into me. He ready to propose to you. And after the honeymoon night, for the first time, you decide to go wash your makeup off because that's the first time you'll spend the night. He like, who the hell are you? What you doing with my wife? He ready to call authorities because somebody kidnapped his wife. So that makeup thing is dangerous. Personally, I don't date girls who wear makeup. I like natural beauty. So I wouldn't even date a girl like that. And if you just using blush and lipstick, a little bit of that, that's cool. But you got the big ass eyelashes that as long as my baseball cap brim. And no,
your face full.
it's not right. They call it witchcraft these days. I think it is witchcraft. You ever heard of this movie called what's the Holly Berry? You ever heard of Holly Berry?
Nope.
She played in this movie. Oh man, what was it called? Forget the name of it. But she was like this real ghetto ass chick with a gold tooth and everything. And there was this one scene in it. If I got the right movie, or I'm thinking about Booty Call with Jamie Foxx. It was he went home with this prostitute, right? So he thinking he gonna get laid, whatever. Prostitute got a fat ass, blah blah blah. So he gets her. She takes him to her apartment, and they're ready to have sex. He pulls out the condom and everything. So she takes her hair off. You're like, oh damn. He thought it was her hair, but it wasn't. So then she takes her eyelashes off, plucks her eyelashes off. Then she wipes off her lipstick. Then she wipes off her makeup. But then she goes into the back of her dress and pulls out the butt thing to make her butt look big. And to top it all off, when she upped her dress, she had to take one leg off because she only had one leg. It just goes to show this makeup stuff is witchcraft. Because y'all don't give brothers the proper. They're not allowed. You're not allowing them to make a well thought through decision based on what you really look like. See, most men we can't go out wearing makeup like y'all. So we are who we are.
But now, most guys on TikTok and Instagram, they actually put on makeup.
Oh boy. Let's get worse and worse and worse.
It's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. I was on I was on the Twitter space the other day, and they got mad because I said I actually took it. It was taken out of context, and I said it out of context. I said I would never allow my daughter to marry Black American man based off the way society is today. And it's not that I wouldn't allow her. He would be vetted properly, and he would have to be one of a high class from a higher class family. No, seriously, because everything that I'm giving my children, all the hard work that I'm putting in to do what I'm doing, through all the bad and the good that I got to go through, I'm not doing it just for them to go marry some dude off the street. You know?
Yep.
So with
Very
that,
true.
I said, and they got angry. They was like, "Oh, cut this nigga line out. This nigga ain't FBA. He an African. He ain't African." They 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 love to call. They always insult me on Twitter, calling me an African, and I'm constantly like, "Why is that an insult to your guys? Why calling me an African? Why am I supposed to feel insulted? Like, dumbass, you still from Africa, regardless if you like it or not. I mean, we all still look the same, basically."
Yeah.
So I was saying that to the point that I see that the generation that's coming up, and not the generation that will be, actually, yeah, because the generation that's coming up now, one of them will likely be her husband, because she's going to likely marry somebody between 10 and 20 years older than her. You know what I mean? Um, that's how they all did it back in the day. And that's why a lot of families stood together, because the younger women would marry men who had experience in life and was at the point in their life that they were able to provide. But when I see the generation today, the echo again, wow, the echo. When I see the generation today, man, there's very little hope. There's very little hope. The men are weak and the boys are weaker. And every little thing offends people. Everybody's offended by every little thing. Everybody cries and complains about every little thing. When I was growing up, you had to be thick-skinned. You couldn't care about what people said, especially in school. I mean, kids were ruthless in school. They'd make you feel like dirt. They'd bust on you all day. Take school, for instance. I was made fun of in school a whole lot. I was always picked on in school. Until, I beat the bully at school. I was forced to fight and I beat his ass. Then they started respecting me. But that happened twice in two different schools, my high school, my junior high school. I was forced to fight the bully in school. The thing is this. We were all in poverty. I came from a project, a South Philadelphia project called Tasker Project. We all grew up in poverty. But everybody would clown and make fun of everybody. Poverty. And I'm thinking about it now, and I never got it. But everybody made everybody feel bad. They were always busting on you. And we didn't realize, we all came from the same thing. But now, you get suspended just for saying something that offends somebody.
Yeah.
The men are weak, and the boys are weaker. And that means that the boys, when they become men, they also going to be weaker than the ones now. That's why I say that very little hope. Where do you see yourself marrying? If you could pick, say, I'm attracted to this type of person or these type of men, who would that be?
Okay. I don't know his name. This 50 Shades of Grey. What's his name?
You never seen it?
Christian. Yeah, Christian Grey.
Yeah, I've never seen a movie.
This kind of wear suits, the businessman,
I've heard of it, never seen a movie, couldn't tell you.
Okay, yeah, you're like so quiet outside, but inside you show the real characters, you're friendly, but outside you're like cool off, don't come close to me, stay far away. They're always wearing their suits, they're always in their cars and or in their offices.
You want an introvert
Yeah.
like myself. Basically, I'm quiet on the outside until I'm just around the people who know me.
Yeah.
The only time I talk is when I do this show, because there's a purpose. But yeah, I get that. But you got to make sure that the type that you search for is you're what he's searching for. And a lot of people don't think to
Yeah.
look at that. A lot of ladies always like, I want this type of man, I want this type of man. But y'all never ask yourself, do this type of man want you?
Is your crush crushing on you?
Yeah, if that's what you call it. But yeah, but you know what? That's too hard of a that's too difficult of an answer or a question for them though. Because now
Yeah.
when you say that, they have to have something to offer, and a lot of them ain't got nothing but a fat ass or some coochie. Long story short, everybody got what's between their legs as a female to offer a man. Oh, she is biting the mess out of me. I'm going. All right, wow. But it's been good. It's been nice. This is going to be a Friday episode. Tune in tomorrow because I'm going to do a special tomorrow. And I'm going to bring I know. Look. Play with it. Play with the computer for the only time. Yeah, that'll shut her up. I'm going to do a special. Bring Jenny on. Be Ruki on, and we're going to talk about this African versus African American issue that's all over Twitter every day. So I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow evening if you want to tune in. But anyway, good talk again. But you ain't found your husband yet, I guess?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I went for a bridal shower recently,
What's that?
and a bridal shower,
Oh,
like for the
bridal shower.
bride. Yeah.
What happened?
And everyone was like, these cards where you hold it, it's gonna be my turn soon. I'm getting married next.
That's the bouquet or
Cards.
whatever they call it. Something like
Yeah. So the one I picked was, I'm here for the food. Yes.
How old are you, Vaughn?
I'm 22. I turned into this month. Yeah.
What you say?
I turned 22 this month.
Your
This
network.
month.
Are we talking about the same? Say it one more time, because your network keep pausing it.
22.
So when you supposed to get married, at what age?
25, 26.
Oh, I think you were the
We
chick who
talked
said
about this
27.
before.
Wasn't you the chick who said 27?
Yeah. 25, 26, 27, 28. We talked about this before.
My goodness. I gotta look that up, man. I gotta go back and listen to that when I get a chance. Yeah, I think I kind of remember you now. But you keep talking like that, you might never find anything.
Oh, thank you.
It's all right with you?
That's good. Are you seeing the people that they're getting married to? Are you seeing the men? You said it. The men are weak and the boys are weaker. You said it.
Oh, I know I
Seriously.
said it. I know what I said. The thing is, as I'm putting myself in position to get around the circle of new people, I know a lot of these people going to ask me, do I know this, know that? Hey! But, yeah. So, just give us some time. And see what happens. Because as things go, as we get more popular on this show, people are going to come looking. The thing is, you just got to vet everybody properly. You know what I mean? Everybody has to be vetted. And that's what a lot of these females don't do. They just go off their feelings. And females always go off their feelings. Real men don't care about their feelings. When it was time for me to choose a wife, I said to myself, F my feelings. I know what I need in order to succeed to get what I want in life. It's going to take particular types of people to surround myself with in order to get that. And I understood that I had to think strategically in order to accomplish what I'm accomplishing. And that's the same way you got to be when you're choosing a husband. You got to think strategically
Yeah,
as a
for my
strategy.
children, for my future self.
Yeah, I don't know. You should be having children now. I don't want them to turn out crazy like this. So I'm just messing with you. All right, Valerie. I'm gonna let you go. Let you get back to what you were doing. Um,
Yeah,
we
thank
see your
you.
gear. We see how you dress. So we know that we're not going to perceive you to be fast or easy. Just a tomboyish homebody. I'm gonna have you on again. All right.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
All right. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh man, hour went by that quick. I'm a little surprised myself. All right, guys. This tonight is only making up for Friday night, last night, because man, I was dead tired. When I say dead tired, by the time I left the house at 5 a.m., I got home about 6 p.m. From 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. and she was out with me all that during that whole time. I had to carry a lot with me. And by the time I got home around 6, I bathed her, fed her, watched TV with her so she could go to sleep. And from then on, I was like, you know what? Just let me grab a glass of wine, red wine, and relax and sit back. And that was just it for me for the night, man. I wanted to do it, but man, my energy level was so low. And dealing with all the mess and all the nonsense. And there's a lot of mistakes that I'm making too. And I gotta say, this is the worst summer that I've had in a long, long time. I haven't had a summer this bad since I can remember. I mean, financially and everything. And things are being built, but financially, it's just suppressing. And the thing is even though this is probably the worst summer that I've had in a long while, she being born made it one of the best. So it all balances itself out. And this is how life is, man. One thing I learned about life is when everything is going bad and you continue moving in the way that you do, not letting it affect you to the point that you give up on anything, when you continue to press forward, great things happen. Every time that I was going to have a breakthrough of something just happening that I'm like, oh my goodness, I wanted this, but I never known it would be this great. Every time that I accomplished a certain feat in my life, there were so many walls put up. There were so many tribulations, so many bad things that just rolled down all at once. I was like, damn, what is this? But the fact that I kept pressing forward, there was no giving up in me. On the other side of all that nonsense that I would have to go through, something great would come out of it. I mean, even the homes, cars, all that, things that people want, all them things didn't come easy. They all came with a lot of tribulation, a lot of walls being put up. So just like now, like I said, I'm even more thankful because I got this to balance it. This, like, I got her to balance it out. So, yeah, man. So I'm just gonna continue to move through these next 2 weeks because after these 2 weeks, life goes back to normal for me, and she goes back to being with mommy, who's going back to a housewife, and we're going from there. But like I said, go back to what I said in the beginning. Being a single parent is a very difficult thing, and it should be placed on nobody, especially willingly. So if you ain't married, don't have kids. Don't have kids if you're not married. All right? That's just how it goes. It'll be better for you and better for them. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for coming by, stopping by on this beautiful Saturday. Hope you guys are blessed. Remain blessed. And if you're not, get blessed. With that, we probably do a show tomorrow, and I think tomorrow I'm going to finally do what I said I'm going to do and start my Bible channel. So I'm going to keep you guys up to date with that and how it's going and what it'll look like in the future. All right, guys. Remember to follow here on Instagram and also Twitter at Marrying Africa One on Twitter, or you can just search me as Stephen D. Lyles. And Marrying Africa on Facebook, even though I'm never there, and YouTube, Marrying Africa or Marrying Ghana. All right, guys. One love. Peace out. I made it through with her, and now it's time to put her to bed because she is tired. All right. Good night. Say good night. Good night. Good night.